Hello, my fellow sketchbook schemers. I'm ready to tour my sketchbook, lucky number 13. It took me about 3 months to fill. I used some little printouts I made for a project in this book, but then I had so many printouts left over, you'll see kind of using them as stickers. This one, though, I cut out the eyes, and I challenge you for a little treasure hunt to find the eyes in the sketchbook. If you do, let me know in the comments, and I will reward you with a special eyes emoji. I've already toured the first half of creating the first 15 prompts of AHPTober. This was an October art challenge that I did, so I'll put a timestamp if you want to skip right to the new stuff. But you could check out that video if you're curious about how I made the first half of AHPTober. These were from a lesson by this artist called Lazy Line Drawings, and I tried a few of those. And then this starts AHPTober, jellyfish and beverages, coral. I'll go through these quick, like I said, because I've already toured the first half. Sketchbook scheming, an album cover inspired by Led Zeppelin 3. This was really a labor of love, and it was inspired by this beloved album by Led Zeppelin. An anglerfish. Watch out, he could lure you to be his prey. This was part of a free Draw Friendzy of 80s nostalgia, really fun. I did a lot of community draw-alongs, and that's really been the most fun part of my practice during these 3 months. I love participating and then also seeing what the other artists create, and also socializing with them in a really fun way. So this is supposed to be Ferris Bueller. This one was for pattern, and I made a pattern of chainmail on a knight using pop tabs. I make gloves for him and a little bit of a background later on, and so you'll see him in the flesh later on in the sketchbook. I love these for bouquet, these little sweeties. And I made these fruit-inspired animals, an avocado aardvark and a banana baboon. This was an art hang party about ball gowns, and I took extra time after the fact to cut these out and glue them against the black, and I really love how they came out. This is a celestial dancer inspired by a sculpture by this artist. We went and visited the park. A leftover ball gown lady with some nudibranchs, some deep sea creatures. This is a postcard that my son and his fiance went to Spain to this museum, and they brought it back. And I put in a Rolla Picasso creation, some leftover anglerfish, and a leftover ball gown lady with some of those sort of faux stickers that I told you about. Utensils, hated that one. If life has you down, try changing your perspective. That was inspired by a James Gurney creation that I saw on Instagram, and it was for the prompt perspective, so I thought it worked pretty well. And this was for the prompt ceramics, and my husband and I had found this lovely ceramic figurine during our honeymoon in Jamaica. Mailbox. I had this old idea I had done in an earlier sketchbook, but I also did a fun photo shoot of my getting stickers in the mail, and I'll show you a quick peek. My forehead is not just a 5 head, it might be a 6 or 7 head, so I had to cover that stuff up, but the photo shoot was pretty fun. Another fun art hang party, build a farm. Melissa would show one reference at a time, and then we built the farm scene over the course of the party. And this was for the prompt leaves, and my husband and I go to this music festival just about every year, I think, for the last 5 years or so. And I loved the foliage and the stilt dancer. Retro futurism. Her face was actually inspired by Ellie from The Last of Us, and this woman with a poodle skirt. Okay, this one was for collage. I like to think of her as maybe the spunky little sister of this guy. A teacup using Neocolor 2s. I really liked how that effect came out. My grams. Ooh, this prompt was pointillism, so using the little points of color, and I stuck with the primary colors and then tried to mix them to make the iridescence of this. You probably can't tell what it is. The popular guess is that this is a bullfighting arena. However, it is a close-up of a record on a record player. I guess it's fun to try, but that was a total fail. And I didn't really like this one either. These were some leaves that I printed on. These were the actual leaves, I think, and these were the pressings. I used it a little bit in that Black Bear spread, and another lazy line drawing and doodle. And this art hang party was called 100 Cats in 100 Minutes. I managed to fit in 40 cats in 40 minutes. This was another artist's tutorial to make these watercolor florals. And this is Birdman Larry. My son uses a picture that he had AI create. He had a very detailed prompt that went through about 5 or 6 iterations before he got the detail that he was hoping for. And then I did this watercolor sketch based on his AI prompt. Birdman Larry. It's his gaming avatar. Okay, these were 2 prompts. These were Highland Coo. A Highland Coo and sheep was the prompt. And I love them, but I think their colors, it's like a little too busy. Whereas this one, the prompt was Old Church, and I made it so it fit in the same scene. It's a little bit more simplistic color-wise, and I think it makes more sense to look at. But I love doing the tie-dye boots and a little leather, faux leather shirt and mini skirt for my sheep. And for my Highland Coo, we have a tie-dyed overalls with leather, faux leather boots. So I thought those were really fun. This one I had tried a few lions. The prompt was circus, and I wanted to do something with a lion in a circus. These were fun. The prompt was critters with patterns, and I made a giraffe with a zebra pattern and a zebra with a giraffe pattern. I like it, but in retrospect, I should have picked 2 animals whose faces didn't already look so similar. This was really fun. Last year I had made a clicker mask. The clickers are monsters from The Last of Us. And we were going to go out for Halloween with my husband as Joel Miller, and that fell through. So it was really fun to get to attend a Halloween party in costume. These were my latex wounds. This was the final prompt for Art Hang Party Tober, oversized cats and rats. This was a free Draw Friendzy, and it's drawing the portraits of people who were in the group meeting, and we had 4 minutes for each portrait, and these are art friends now, so that was particularly fun. A leftover lion when I was trying to do the circus prompt, and these were a leftover single line drawing of circus animals, and I kind of liked them once I put them on here, but I hadn't liked them for that prompt. These are some more watercolor and gouache strips. This one was turned upside down. I was watching a late night video, I think by Hot Tuna. This is a guy from Hot Tuna and just a random woman. And a dragon, look at the guy from Hot Tuna again, and a leftover teacup. And some more doodles. This was the piece I had cut out a ball gown from. And that's another guy from Hot Tuna. A class online of action.com, drawing some 30-second figure studies, and then some 1-minute ones and a 10-minute one. Good day, madam. An art hang party of illustration master studies. Melissa did a really nice job curating the references and coming up with really unique illustrations to be inspired by. Debbie picked some really kooky taxidermy gone wrong for this fun draw along, part of her weirdo drawing club. And then this was the first time I was introduced to the Introvert drawing club when Beth Spencer co-hosted this drawing session with Melissa from Art Hang Party. I'll put all the contact info down below, but I ended up joining Beth's Substack for the Introvert Drawing Club. These were really fun goat references that she curated. This guy seems to have a lot on his mind. I joined my local art league, and once a month they have a guest artist. So he introduced us to using what he called a magic pen, a gel pen that's water soluble, to get in some values first before making a painting. So I did this during the meeting, and then I did this afterwards. Weirdo Drawing Club, drawing some weird tchotchkes and knickknacks. And this was part of the Introvert Drawing Club, artists and their cats. This is kind of a different looking style for me. I had some blue and brown gouache left over on a palette, and I used it for this spread. Yoko and John are the only ones I'm on a first name basis with. Owls. Some doodles. Oh, and some business cards. I went and visited a really cool place in Boston with artists' studios, and I picked up some of these business cards from artists I wanted to read more about and check out some more of their work. Those are just the leftover imitation stickers I told you about. This is Wilhelmina from Ugly Betty, and another animal-headed doll, and some leftover goats that were single-line drawings. I loved this one, Introvert Drawing Club, awkward animal headshots. So Beth would show a portrait of a person and a picture of an animal, and you had to combine them together. These were some goblins inspired by Labyrinth. How have I never seen the movie Labyrinth before? As a lover of both David Bowie and monsters, that had to be fixed. My new obsession. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you might have heard that I got into The Last of Us, the video game and the TV show. The TV show of Fallout brought me to the video game of Fallout 4, and it is kind of my new obsession. So this is Nick Valentine, an old synth detective that becomes your companion.
Come to my office in Diamond City.
Another art league meeting, and we learned a little bit about art therapy and did some exercises, sample exercises. Dancing dragons. Weirdo Drawing Club that had really strange vintage Christmas cards. This beat man is walking along with his cane and his top hat and monocle, and he wishes you a Merry Christmas. This one, I guess, is even odder. A lion with some clothing on the ground. Thoughts of you. So he either ate the person he's thinking of, or the person he ate is reminding him of you. Either way, it's a pretty weird Christmas card. Hugs. I like these two, okay. Well, I like this couple. Reminds me of like Les Mis for some reason. I kind of like this negative space. And this guy, this kid I like, but that dog went awry. And so did this poor old woman with the turtle. This was a fun art hang party as well. We would have 2 minutes to look at a reference and take these notes, color notes and sketch notes. And then we had 3 minutes or 4 minutes to try to make the painting without seeing the reference. Both the time limit and the lack of the reference kind of made it more freeing or intuitive in some way. Someone else had submitted this reference, but I submitted this one from Bryce Canyon, one of my favorite places on earth, my favorite national park. This one was a beautiful field of wildflowers that I just kind of blew. And then this one in Monterey, California, I had submitted this reference as well. And I've tried to paint and collage that one before. It's just such a gorgeous landscape. And then here's my finished night that I showed you before. For the prompt pattern, I made the chainmail, and I made these gloves, a gauntlet, and a belt. And I probably wouldn't ever do anything with it, but I Velcroed it in case I ever wanted it to be removable. And I made them just a little bit of a background scene. I had access to trying out Procreate on an iPad, and these are the tutorials I worked through. I ended up returning the iPad. I'm not sure if I want to get one for myself yet, but I did some really good beginner tutorials for learning how to use Procreate. So I'll show you a little bit of that. And then I tucked in some odds and ends. We went and saw that fun play, Christmas on the Rocks, that imagines children from Christmas movies grown up and hitting the bar to tell about their problems, with an octopus block print from a while back and a rubbing from a Chinese calendar. And then some more odds and ends. I joined book club, and I thought I'd keep a little record here of the books I read with that. So this one I liked okay. I loved The Good Lord Bird, and this is the new one I need to read very soon. I'll get on it. It's pretty short. All right, so I want to thank you so much for watching. As you saw, I did a lot of community-based draw-alongs in this one, and I really love getting to know a nice group of art friends with similar interests, and they're very supportive and friendly. And you can let me know what you thought, favorite spread, least favorite spread. Let me know if you found the eyes in the sketchbook and where they were. And I want to thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought, or let me know you were here. Thanks.
Still here? It's over. Go home.